So I remember as a child many times parents complaining, oh, it's too noisy, you cubing all the time, and all that sort of thing. So I thought, well, let's actually experiment with how loud each cube is. Let's try and work out which is the quietest, and if you are a parent and you are concerned about kids making too much noise with their cubes and you want to quieten them down, well, let's find out what's the quietest 3x3 on the market right now. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the Waylon V9. And I'm going to be testing this by initially doing a U-perm, or UA-perm, then a UB-perm, because I know those use a lot of corner cutting, which is the main source of noise. I'm then going to do 2 T-perms, a Z-perm, and the MU Z-perm afterwards, and then just scramble the cube up. So, we're going to start this right now, and I'm going to go quiet, and the only background noise will be the computer, I guess. Okay, so that's very clearly about 89 decibels average. Obviously it's gone down a bit since I stopped turning the cube. So let's, in fact I'm not going to bother solving them, I'm just going to waste time. Let's reset this. That is very clearly 92 average. 92. So that is a bit louder. Interesting. And that's, of course, the GAN 11M. Now, this is one that I think is going to be one of the loudest of them. The Shengshou Yufeng 3x3 V2. This hasn't really had much popularity, but quite a few kids have asked a lot about it when trying it at competitions. Okay, well I'm putting it at 93. It could just about have hit 94. It's interesting how little difference there is here. So let's try the MS3 V1. I have a feeling this is actually going to be quite quiet. I wasn't going to include this until I realised, oh wait a minute, this is actually quite quiet. It could be interesting to put in there. I'm not sure if you're still going to be able to buy this, and the more recent MS cubes aren't as quiet. I'm going to put that at 90. So Waylon V9 so far is the quietest, but I suspect that's going to change pretty soon. Qi cubes are often considered to be quite quiet, so let's try a Tornado V2. You can't get these anymore, but I've got a Tornado V3 next, I guess. Okay. Okay, I think that's about 89. So about the same as the Waylon V9. Interesting. Okay, right, Tornado V3 flagship. I believe this is the flagship version. Right, okay. Okay, that's 90. Now, it'd be interesting to see if the UV coated version is any different, especially because it also has maglev, which I have a feeling might reduce it slightly. no. So clearly there is no difference there. The Tornado V3 is at 90 decibels average. Now let's try the Qi EMS, which is another Qi cube that I think goes against Qi's general loudness. I mean, that hit 92, so quite a loud cube. Right, now let's try the RS3M 2020. So this is I believe an RS3M 2020. I could be wrong. Oh, it's got a bit of corner defect. Hopefully that won't be noticeable. It shouldn't be, because my algorithms don't turn that layer that I'm going to be trying. Okay. Okay, so that is the loudest so far at 94. Interesting. And that's the most popular budget cube, well, the most popular speed cube on my site of all time. Also happens to be the loudest so far. Very interesting. Maybe the kids want to annoy their parents with loud cubes. Okay, right. Right, 92. So according to this, the UV coated RS3M is slightly quieter, but only very slightly. Right. Okay. Super RS3M V2 UV. I've chosen the ball core version because I think it'll be most interesting. Let's give this a go. Okay, so that's also clearly 92. First time I've messed up the U-perm, so I had to just pretend I didn't and keep going with all the normal stuff. Okay, now the new Guhong Pro I think will be an interesting one. I've decided to go with a 54mm one because I feel it should make a very, very, very slight difference. It's probably so minuscule it's not even worth thinking about. But let's do this. Okay, 89. Interesting. So that is on the quieter side here. Right. Which means we get on to what I predict is going to be the quietest. But it'll be interesting to see if it actually is. So let's try. Yeah, 87. So the Diantengen V1 is the quietest of this experiment. Just as I expected, it's got the reputation for just being the quietest cube on the market. And you can just hear it's got this slightly hollow feeling. It's just slightly quieter than every other cube, basically. And other Dian cubes don't seem to carry that over. Now you may be thinking, well, these sounds are very, very similar. I mean, the lowest is 87, the highest is 94. But it's important to remember that the decibel scale is logarithmic. So 100 decibels is 10 times louder than 90 decibels. So if you think about it that way, you realise that these are bigger differences than you think. And yeah, like if I say nothing for a few seconds, it goes down to like 55. But yeah, that's because the only background noise is just my computer whirring in the background. That's it. So finally, for this video, I'm going to get this. Now, this is the Diansheng 10cm 3x3. And I have a feeling it's going to be a lot louder. However, it may not be just because I won't be able to do the algorithms as fast. Okay, yeah, so I mean it's 93, but like it's a lot louder when you can get the finger tricks going and turning it properly. The final thing though, final piece of advice, big cubes. Big cubes are quieter. I don't know why it is, but big cubes are just generally quieter. Because, well, yeah, they're just a bit smoother, I guess. And there's more pieces, but they're smaller pieces, so for some reason they're generally quieter. And the quietest cubes I've generally found are the Diansheng big cubes. They have a series of magnetic big cubes from 8x8 up to 12x12. I mean, they're expensive, but if you want your child to be cubing with a really quiet cube, maybe you should consider getting these. Right, okay, let's test it out. Wow. You can see there, 78. That's 10 times quieter than a Tengen V1. 10 times quieter. And this is the quietest 3x3 on the market. So, what have we learnt here? If you want your child to be cubing with a quiet cube, well, you need to get them a Diansheng 9x9. Or any other big cube, it doesn't really matter that much. I would say these are slightly quieter than other really big cubes, probably a lot to do with the fact they're magnetic and smaller. But even things like the Zilong 4x4, let's just test this. This is the Zilong Mini 4x4. I mean, it's a bit smaller anyway, and it's certainly not quiet by design, but I have a feeling it's going to be quieter anyway. Yeah. So, as a general rule, as the cube gets bigger, the loudness decreases, which is very interesting to see, because you'd think, well, it has so many more pieces, so that wouldn't be the case, but that just is the case. So, if you want your child to be cubing and not distract you as much, get them into big cubes. It's a great community, lots of people like big cubes. I mean, oh, wait a minute, I'm third in the UK for 7x7. I don't want another load of kids challenging me for that, do I? Yeah, just get them on 2x2s and Pyraminxes. Just keep them there. I mean, they're a bit louder, but just keep them there. Don't worry. Just stay away from big cubes, please. I want to keep my 9x9 national record, even though it is the quietest cube and the least distracting to parents. Okay, so yeah, in simplicity, there is a difference there. It's not that big, but there is a difference between like a Tornado V3, Diantengen V1. Diantengen V1 is just the quietest cube on the market, and then there are other cubes which are okay, but there are also some louder ones. And if you care about it, why not get a quiet cube like the Tengen V1? But I suspect most people aren't worried about that and just want the cube that is best. But what cube is best? That's so subjective. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share and subscribe. So while editing, I realised, can I really make a video about the sound of cubes without at least mentioning the thunderclap? It's literally called the thunderclap. This is the thunderclap V3M, which is £9 at speedcubing.org. Let's just test this one out. Wow. 88. So the cube that is called the thunderclap is actually one of the quietest cubes on the market. Interesting, nonetheless.